Hey, welcome back to the channel, my fellow weather junkies. I'm your host, meteorologist Greg Majeski, your trusted weather source, bringing you the weather without all that social media hype here on your Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. Let's go and see what we're tracking here for today. Is boy, we're definitely looking at a spring takeover for a big part of the country. Welcome to spring, boy, and I'll tell you, it's going to mean we're going to need to be very watchful as we go into the month of April. Now, we are seeing some severe weather risk for this upcoming weekend. There's been a lot of chatter out on social media, and I will tell you, it's not the end game. We're going to have some severe weather around, but I'm not expecting a big tornado outbreak, and I'm going to explain why. Every storm system's a little different than the other, but I will tell you this much. The one heading deeper into April, it's a little long range. That one has me a little more concerned. So I'm going to show you the comparison between the two different events on the model data to kind of explain why this weekend event, although we need to watch it, again, is not an in-game setup, not a big outbreak expected. All right, before we get going, first I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers here on the channel. And if you haven't yet subscribed, what you waiting for, my friend? Hit that subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner. Hit the notification bell so you're alerted on future content. And as always, if you appreciate this report, please leave me a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up. It does help a little bit with the YouTube algorithm. All right, let's look at the big picture here. Looking at our satellite imagery this morning as we have a weak storm system here, bringing some rains across areas of the Midwest. A little snows up into the Northeast. Quiet for most of the South except for Florida. Getting a little rain down here. And looks like we're quiet for most of the West Coast, although we're going to see some of this energy out here kind of get shunted up into areas of the Northwest as we go into the next couple of days. Today on Tuesday, it's looking pretty quiet. Look how quiet it is here. Just some fog across the southeast, a little wind out here toward California and Oregon, but otherwise, that's about it. Really not looking bad here for today. Now, as we look at our current surface map, again, there's some of that snows out of Canada, kind of sneaking into New York State there. There's some of the rains here across the Midwest, stretching back over toward Iowa, and some scattered showers up into Montana. But the West, look at all the H's out here. A lot of high pressure here, and across the deep South looking pretty good indeed. We'll take a closer look at some of this rain here falling across northern Kentucky. Some rains there across Cincinnati for this morning. Again, not an all-day event. This will be kind of shutting on out of here. We'll see things begin to improve across this portion of the country as we go into later this afternoon. So let's go ahead and break this down, look at the latest Storm Prediction Center as far as our thunderstorm threat over the next several days. We're going to start with your day one outlook. Now, as far as the next 3 days are concerned, we got general thunderstorm threat and we got the marginal, which is basically, you know, that slight risk right there. So we're not talking about anything real significant here as far as that's concerned. Now, here's our little pocket for today. We're going to watch basically around Dallas, down toward Miami. You might see a severe thunderstorm or two in those areas. Let's look at your day two outlook here. Again, we're going to shift our attention to the northwest as that next storm system moves in. We're talking Oregon, Washington State, Idaho. Those areas might see a little thunder or maybe a severe isolated threat there. How about day three? Day three, a couple of pockets to watch there. We're looking at Iowa, stretching back over to Illinois and Indiana, and again down here into Texas for day three. What's got everybody talking out on social media is what's going to go on beyond the day three, kind of going into this weekend. So going into day six. So here's our big area here. It's definitely going to be warmer. We're going to have what we call instability. We're going to have fuel for this. But the jet energy, well, I think it's lacking a little bit. It's not correctly aligned to give us anything as far as significant tornado outbreaks concerned. I'm going to show you the model data here to kind of illustrate that point here in a second. Now, this also shifts into day seven, goes in here across the mid-Atlantic and the southeast as we go into Monday of next week. So that's what we're looking at right now for the severe weather. Now, as far as anything beyond that, we want to look at the excessive rainfall. We've got a couple days to watch this, especially down here into Texas. This is for tomorrow. This is going toward Wednesday, so we're talking about South Texas down there. And that'll kind of linger into day three. So we look at the next 3 days. This is your kind of seeing it kind of uptick there to a slight risk there, named down Corpus Christi, down toward Houston. And we got a little bit here along the West Coast as well, as that next system kind of picks up out there as well. So, kind of wrapping this up, looking at your hazards outlook. Again, there's our thunderstorm threat we're going to watch. Obviously, a flooding here and some gusty, windy conditions out here on the West Coast. So let's break this down. I want to talk about the differences as we look at the model data here. What we're going to look at here is the about 25,000 feet, 500 millibar, good level to kind of measure the winds out. So we're going to focus in on this upcoming weekend event. All right, so here we go, as we're going to look at the jet energy here as we go into Friday and Saturday. So it's this energy right down here. This is what we're going to watch. It's going to kind of traverse the country here. And that energy is going to help energize some of the instability of that heat that's going to be there. So going into Friday and Saturday. So it kind of comes across here, right through here, pretty quickly. So this is late in the day on Sunday. Watching that little energy, got a little bit of a dip in here, but notice the configuration, fairly flat. So that means we've got some quick moving west to east jet energy flow, but we're not seeing the major fluctuations. We're not seeing that, something like that. We're not seeing that for this. Now, we are going to see instability. I can show you the instability here. Look at this. This is your surface CAPE. Again, think of CAPE as fuel. It's gasoline for the fire. So as we go into this upcoming weekend, we see that because going into Sunday, you see it clearly coming up here across areas of Missouri, coming into the southeast. We have that buoyant air that's going to be there through the weekend. So as this goes on by, you see it come on by. So we're going to have that right in through Monday. So we have fuel, got a little bit of jet energy, but again, I'm not expecting a big tornado outbreak with this system. Now, let's go back to the 500 millibar level. I want to show you what we need to watch a little bit deeper in April. Now, granted, this is 300 hours out, but I do want to do a comparison here for you. So let's look at this next big system that has me a little concerned. As you go and take this all the way out, this is going out toward April the 5th and 6th. Oh, this looks a little different now, doesn't it? Now look at this. So we got a jet energy that's doing this. And you got diffluence, you got a nice little jet energy coming in there. So a big dive in the jet stream, much higher jet energy, and we have diffluence, and we got wind shear and spin in the atmosphere. So this is going into Saturday and Sunday the following weekend. So going into that following weekend, we have to watch this going into the 5th and 6th. So the 5th and 6th, as far as the long range is concerned, jet stream, like, ooh, that looks a little more significant. Also, take a look at the going all the way out with the CAPE, again, that fuel energy going out to the 5th and 6th. Also looking at more, obviously going into Saturday, more instability. We have more CAPE in here. It's even higher than what we're expecting for this weekend. So this weekend event, that one, definitely need to watch. But the one the following weekend, if the models continue to verify that out, again, this is long range, that's the one we got to really pay attention to as far as a more significant potential tornado outbreak with that one a little bit later into the first week of April. But for this weekend, looking for, I think, predominantly going to be severe thunderstorm watches and severe thunderstorms, not ruling out any tornadoes. Can't really do that totally, but I really think that's what we're going to see for a big part of the Midwest and heading into the Southeast going for this weekend. So let's go and look at the high resolution model data. We're going to take you through the short term here. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Again, not any major storm systems here for the next few days. You see little rains there across parts of the country going throughout the day, going into your Wednesday. So you see that most significant stuff is really kind of happening out here on the West Coast. See some stuff there across Wisconsin, a little stuff here across South Texas, but really not looking all that bad here in the short term, heading us out to the middle of the week. Now let's go and look at the European. We're going to take this all the way out. And again, you're going to watch what goes on for this upcoming weekend. So as you go into this weekend, again, we got a little piece of energy here that's ejecting out of Texas. This is going to come this way. And then we have this low, which is moving this way as well. We're going to watch. That's going to set off a little bit of that severe weather. So here it comes going into your Sunday outbreak here. And then it kind of sweeps on through the southeast. So this is going into your Monday. So again, we have the instability. Not a tremendous amount of wind shear with this, but we could see some severe weather. All right. Now, as this goes on by, we're going to watch for the following weekend. All right. We got a couple week system here coming into Friday. This is the one. We got one system facing on Friday, and it's the one right behind it. This is the one, this one going into Saturday and Sunday. This is the one we got to watch here that's a little more significant. So we're going to watch the 5th and 6th for a couple rounds of severe weather going in that weekend. We have better dynamics, we have better wind shear, and we have better instability. So that one, a little bit later, we'll have to see if that one will be a little more significant. Again, it could change. We got a long way to watch that one. That pushes off toward the east, and we'll see things begin to improve. Let's go ahead and talk about as far as what we're expecting as far as the rainfall amounts. Now, what's interesting here is the next 72 hours, not seeing a whole lot. Only the heaviest rain here looks like South Texas. Again, we got that little flooding risk that we just showed you there heading out toward the middle of the week. Now, beyond this, not looking bad for 10 days. We're going to go out to 240. And we got the rain, obviously, across the south. We got a significant rains out here on the west coast and across the Midwest. What's interesting when I show you the climate outlook is beyond this, when you go from day 10 through 14, it really picks up significantly. Look how much more heavy rain we get here in the west, obviously here in the northwest area as well. But it looks like we get a little more active with that next system, especially if that one evolves, that big one on the 4th and 5th we have to watch closely. All right, now, Old Man Winter ain't done with us yet. Can't discard that. Because check this out. We do have some snows here in the northwest. We're seeing some of that out there this morning. Little snows out there in the west here the next few days. Takes out to 240. And we got a couple of areas to watch, obviously. See the snows here across areas of the northwest. See the Intermountain region getting the snows. Pretty heavy, not bad. And then if that next storm system comes to fruition, the big one we're watching on the 4th and 5th, check this one out. Boom. Might be seeing a significant snow dump there across portions of Minnesota as we go in toward that other weekend, going past the 5th and 6th. Now, as far as the air mass battles, okay, this is very important. Now, watch the 850 anomalies because that's where you can see the temperature differences and where the battlegrounds are going to set up. And they're really showing up nicely here. So watch where you go for this upcoming weekend's battle. Talking about Saturday and Sunday. So here it comes. You see the air mass battles right through here. That's what we're watching for Saturday and Sunday and going into Monday. You see it kind of move on off. So we definitely have our battle zone for sure setting up in there. All right. So that's where we're going to watch for those thunderstorms. This moves on out. Things kind of cool off a little bit. Then we're going to watch for that following weekend. This one's a little more significant for sure. Look at this battleground. Wow. That's significant. Look at that. So that was definitely stronger as we get a big low that forms up. And look at that battleground setup here. Cut it right across Missouri and through Louisiana. Cold air plowing into that warm air out ahead of it. Classic spring setup there for severe weather as we head toward this upcoming, not this weekend, the following weekend, 5th, 6th, 7th, and going into the following week. So watch that come on through. Big cool dump there across the Midwest. Wow, this is going to the end of this run as we head toward, this is Tuesday the 8th. So we're looking at a pretty good cool down there. Get my wand here to work. There you go. And that's got to be watched going all the way out. So that's showing a big cool down there going into the 7th and 8th of April. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. We'll go look at your climate outlook here. As we're looking at, again, we're looking at some warm temperatures here, cooler across the Great Lakes northeast, a little cool patch out here in the west, and then still looking predominantly warm going out from the 1st to the 7th. We'll see if that verifies. I think if we get that big storm system, this might change up a little bit. That's the long range going from the 5th, 6th, and 7th. That's that big, more significant storm. Potentially, got to watch it, got to look for consistency from model run to model run to see if that verifies. But we're definitely looking below normal out here in the west. Precipitation wise, again, you see that staying active from the 30th through the April the 3rd. And then this might also change. You notice here on the 8th to the 14th where it's drier in the southeast and across this area. Remember what I showed you there from days 10 through 14 on the European. It was showing a significant amount of heavy rain in here. So we'll see what the afternoon model runs do with that next system. Is it going to be a significant storm or is it not? So that's what we're going to watch going into the following weekend. This weekend storms have to be watched, but again, it's the one a little bit deeper in the month of April that we're going to have to see if that tornado threat, which is significantly higher than what we're seeing for this upcoming weekend. Again, it's one of those things as a meteorologist, it's a little challenging sometimes when I see some of the traffic that goes out there in social media world from some of the weather enthusiasts out there. They want to treat every weather event as the same, as it's the be-all, end-all. I know they're trying to get clicks and views and things like that, but they need to be a little more professional about it sometimes, about how they present it. Yes, we're going to have severe weather, and I want you to be aware and I want you to be prepared, but it's not a major tornado outbreak. Now, if we see something like that set up going into that first weekend in April, something like that, well, that one I would say, yeah, we need to be a little more prepared for. But again, we're talking about something that's over, 10 days away here, 10, 11 days out. So we got a little time to watch to see if that next system comes to fruition. This weekend, I think we're going to be dealing with some severe weather, gusty winds, hail, heavy rain, isolated tornado threat with this one, covering a pretty large area, Midwest down to the southeast. And then we'll see what that next one behind it, that's the one that I'll be watching closely to see if that one's going to be a little more significant player or if the model's back off a little bit. We got some time to watch that. All right, that's y'all's update for now. Again, I appreciate everybody checking out the channel. If you haven't decided to subscribe just yet, please hit that subscribe button, and it'll be an honor and privilege to have you on board. All right, that's your weather update for today. As you can tell, I'm fighting sinuses, I'm fighting allergy today, but I did make it through the video. Hooray for me. All right, you guys take it easy. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.